All right, I wanted to do a really quick video here. Welcome to the Math Puzzle Crash Course, and I want to cover the differences between the commutative property and associative property of multiplication and addition. Um, the two properties that are often misunderstood are the associative property and the commutative property. These apply in simple mathematics as well as in algebra. The difference between these two properties is the way that the numbers are grouped. With the associative property, numbers can be regrouped with multiplication or addition, and the answer will not be any different. The commutative property says that numbers can actually change positions with multiplication and addition, and the answer will also not be different. Uh, the commutative property of multiplication means that changing the factors does not alter the product. So as an example, if I have 6 times 3 times 9 times 4, it's the same as 9 times 4 times 6 times 3. That's also the same as 4 times 9 times 3 times 6. In any case, the result is 648. Two or more factors are needed uh, for the commutative property, which makes sense because you need at least two numbers to perform multiplication. Another simpler example would be like 1 times 2 equals 2 times 1 equals 2. They both, 1 times 2 equals 2 and 2 times 1 equals 2. It doesn't matter which comes first. So in short, the commutative property is defined as the following for any two real numbers, and we're gonna use a and b as variables to represent two numbers, just for simplicity. So for addition, when we're talking about the commutative property, we're saying a plus b equals b plus a. There's no difference. And then for multiplication, a times b equals b times a. So you can reverse those and it doesn't change the answer. It's the same thing. You can change the order of the numbers, but it doesn't change the answer. Now for the associative property, this applies to multiplication and addition. The sum or the product is not affected by the way they are grouped within parentheses. So for multiplication, you could have a times b inside of parentheses, all times c, and that also equals a times b times c within parentheses. There's no difference in that. And then for addition, you could have a plus b in parentheses, meaning that you would solve that first, and then add c. That equals a plus the grouping of b plus c in parentheses. An example of the associative property with addition, another one would be, say, 1 plus 2 plus 4, where you have the 1 plus 2 in parentheses. That's equal to 3, right? You take 1 plus 2 inside parentheses first, that's 3. Then you add the 4, that equals 7. You could also move the parentheses around the 2 plus 4, and it makes no difference. You're going to solve inside the parentheses first there, which will give you 1 plus 6 equals 7. Either way you arrange those parentheses, you're going to get the answer of 7. Now, sometimes what I see I see a lot of people get confused when parentheses are introduced into a problem, and they immediately think someone's changing the order of operations. But when you have the same level of operations in the example above, it was addition, it doesn't change the answer. Regardless of where the parentheses were placed, the answer is 7. Now, however, if you have mixed operations, meaning like say, what if I add multiplication with addition in a problem, then it does become very important where parentheses are placed. Here's an example. 6 times 2 plus 5 minus 3 times 2. If you solve that using order of operations, you're going to do the multiplication first. You're going to have 6 times 2 is 12. You still add the 5, and then you're subtracting the 3 times 2, which is 6. So you've got 12 plus 5 minus 6 equals 11. Now, if we do this, if we put parentheses around the 2 plus 5, so we have 6 times, and then parentheses 2 plus 5 minus 3 times 2. Well, now we solve inside those parentheses first, right? So 2 plus 5 is 7. So we're going to be left with 6 times 7 minus the 3 times 2, which 3 times 2 is 6, so 6 times 7 minus 6 is the same thing as 42 minus 6, which equals 36. So you can see here putting parentheses around the addition forces us to resolve that operation before any multiplication, so it changes the answer. So we went from having no parentheses and having an answer of 11, and then putting parentheses around the 2 plus 5 when we're ending up with 36. Now, if any of that doesn't make sense, you can review order of operations. I do have a separate video on order of operations and how that works. But hopefully this helps explain the two properties, the commutative and associative. Thank you.